Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. In today's episode, we are going to be taking on our next dungeon, the Temple of Time. This dungeon's kind of an interesting dungeon because I really do feel like this is a scrapped, one of the scrapped dungeons from Ocarina of Time. They're just reusing it in this game. Mainly because in Ocarina of Time, I think they were supposed to have a light temple, but they never did. So I kind of feel like that this is the dungeon that they were meant to use in that game, but then now they're using it in this game because, well, they had the ideas for it. But Temple of Time's an interesting dungeon. It's one of my favorite, next favorite next to Snow Peak. Snow Peak's a really unique dungeon. It's one of my favorites, but Temple of Time is just as unique. The main gimmick for this dungeon is you're going all the way to the tippity top of the dungeon and getting something and bringing it back as an escort mission all the way back down to the first floor. So you're gonna spend half the dungeon going all the way up, and then you're coming all the way back down. So I really like that dungeon concept because you get an item in here that essentially allows you to escort something across the dungeon. The dungeon itself is kind of got, a lot of puzzles that involve switches and gates and hitting crystals to open doors and all this other kind of neat stuff that you have to time yourself with, as well as a lot of spiders. I'll put it that way. There's a lot of spiders in this dungeon, going from, just regular old tarantula-looking spiders to goofy cartoon-looking spiders, and a bunch of baby spiders all over the floor. So, without further ado, let's get on with the episode. And welcome everybody back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. In the last episode, we returned back to the Sacred Grove, and we went back through the Lost Woods again, and we gained entrance here to the Temple of Time, our next major dungeon. We went back into the past, and now we're back into the past of the Temple of Time. I actually think, if I have a fan theory about this place, this was originally supposed to be a dungeon in Ocarina of Time, I think, for the Light Temple. If you guys remember, in Ocarina of Time, there was you given the Light Medallion early, and well, they were supposed to be. I think there was supposed to be a dungeon coinciding with that, but they didn't use it, so they kind of used it in this game, I think. Before we start the episode, I wanted to tell you, my voice, I am losing my voice really bad. I don't know what happened over the weekend, but I am losing my voice a lot this week. So if I sound raspy, I am so sorry. That's just how it is. Anyways, let's go further in on it. Welcome you guys to the Temple of Time. Probably one of my favorite dungeons besides Snow Peak Ruins. I really like this dungeon. It's actually kind of one of the larger dungeons. If we take a look up at the map, it's 8 floors. There's a lot to this dungeon, but a lot of it's just it's a giant tower, so that's essentially what it is. So if we come up to this room here, Midna will come up and say, "Link, don't you think there's something odd about that statue? In the grove to the temple entry, there was always a matching one side by side, but there was always one here. Why don't you use your senses to take a look around?" Alright, so let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and turn into the wolf and turn on our senses. Sure enough, there's a statue right here. There's a missing statue. I knew it. There was one more here originally. We need to find the other statue in the temple that matches that one. So that's essentially our goal this dungeon, is we have to go find that other statue to put it back here. That is the whole gimmick of this dungeon. And also with this dungeon, you also have the gimmick of we have to take up pots to kind of actually, let's go ahead and turn back into human. We have to go and put pots on switches and stuff like that. Alright, so we gotta go take this heavy Armos thingy here. We're gonna put it on the switch. That raises up a step. Now, like I said before, I think this dungeon was originally going to be in Ocarina of Time as kind of like the light temple, because in Ocarina of Time they didn't give you they didn't have a dungeon corresponding with the light medallion. They just kind of gave it to you. I think that the intended Temple of Time to be that dungeon for it, but I could be wrong. Not so fast. At last, this is it. This is where I've been trying to get to. The ancient technology of our people sleeps in this place. We've searched all over, and now we're so close I can smell it. Once we find that thing, we could go home at last. Oh, gracious, yes. Young man, we're so close, so please help us find what we're looking for. You've been reunited with Uku. The Uku's just kind of given to you at this dungeon. Yeah, it's kind of... you can't avoid her. Alright, so down here, we need to light these lanterns here. With that, that'll cause this chest to spawn. I kind of wanted to be on top of the chest so the chest I'd raise up in the air, but that's fun. There's a small key inside this chest, so now we can go and further on in, because I think there's a locked door up here. Don't think there's anything of worth noticing. Just a heart. Yeah, there's a locked door up here. So we use that small key to come up here, and now we're introduced to I think these are called aragomas. These are, you know, regular old spiders. We're gonna just go ahead and do his jump slash kill it. They're really not that hard of enemies to do and take care of. I think, yeah, I need to remember to do that. Okay, so here we need, if we push the switch, you'll notice that the things open up. But as soon as we get on, leave off of it, well, yeah, the switch kind of goes back into its place. We can't smash all the pots. Get one of the pots, and we want to put it on the switch. There we go. That leaves it open, so that way we can go ahead and get this treasure chest. Inside's a bundle of arrows. That's kind of giving you a hint we might need our bow. So, we're going to go ahead and get our bow. And there's another aragoma here. I think these are what they're called as aragomas. I can't remember. I just remember they're like a play on arachnid and goma. But here, as you guys can see, well, the gate is blocking our way. We need to actually use our bow to break that pot that's on the switch. And that causes it to open up. So, there we go. We can go further on in. And there's a Lizalfos here. We haven't seen Lizalfos in a while. Of course, they're easy as pie now. Of course, the Master Sword does a lot of the work for us. There's more Lizalfos. Let me go ahead and just spin attack all of them. Let's finish one off. Can I pull off another finish attack? Nah, I can't. That's okay. Helm Splitter, boom. And we're introduced to a new enemy. This is an Armos. Armos Knight, or whatever it is. Armos are staples in Zelda games. You need to kind of bait him out, and he's going to come over and attack you. His weak point is his jewel on his back. So, you need to kind of wait until he brings down his hammer, and then you can go behind him and attack him. Or you could just, you know, just do that too. But be careful when you do that, because sometimes your timing could be bad off. Now, whenever you kill him, get away from him, because he will explode. Upon defeating all the enemies in this room, we get a treasure chest. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and see what's inside. Oh, you can tell it's a big item, it's a big item. It's a dungeon map. So we got a map of the dungeon now. Okay, so yeah, as you guys can see, it's an 8-floor dungeon. But the thing is, though, it's really not that, like, complex of rooms, as you guys can see. There's, like, many floors of just one room. So it's literally just a tower. Now, if I remember correctly, there is a couple things else in this room too. There's a bunch of keys in the window. Alright, let's open this chest up. Inside's red rupee. Well, it's a good thing that last episode I got that wallet upgrade, because now I can actually get money again. But that's okay. Go ahead and get rid of these keys. Why would you want to get rid of keys? They're good. And I think I screwed up. No, I didn't. I thought I did need more pots. No, I forgot. You have the Armos little things here. But as you guys can see with this switch here, we can, we need to open up the gate here. There's a claw shot point right there. But that's, if you come backwards. If you come back from the room beyond this point, the Armos reset, so they will not stay on the switch, and you need to get past that gate because it's you know, closed. So that's the way that the developers made it, so that way you can't lock yourself in accidentally. But you're actually gonna need that claw shot point later. All right, so we're in this room. This is kind of like the towery portion of the room of the temple time. As you guys can see, there's a Beamos statue. We haven't seen these in a long time. Just shoot its eye out. I think, if I remember correctly, yeah, this room is kind of like the main hub. Not like the main hub of Temple Time, but whenever I think of Temple Time, I think of this room. Right here, there's a gate here. We can't do that yet, but there's Lizalfos. Let's go ahead and take him out real quick. And there's also a bunch of enemies down in the center there. We're going to get to those guys here in just a minute. Okay. But as you also can see, there is a Poe behind this gate. We can't do anything about this Poe until much later in the dungeon. So just remember he's here. Another Lizalfos. Let's go ahead and just... They're just throwing the Lizalfos at us in this dungeon. There. Alright, so... in the center here, you guys can probably see it. There's actually an electric barrier. We can't even go through there. If you touch that electric barrier, you will get shocked really bad. So, we can't go through there just yet. We need to actually go up this way. And there were Lizalfos here, and I just made him, you know, fall down the stairs. Just, you know, you trip down, you go down 50 flights of stairs. You know. Alright, there's a spinner. Oh, look, a place we could use our spinner. Alright, so there we go. We got it off the spinner point right here. Now, in this room, there is a locked door. We can't do anything about it until we get a key. So we're going to go inside the center here. Watch out for the barrels. Like, I just walked right into it. But we can actually grab a hold of this panel here, and we push it. And we go down. This will take us down to the first floor. And, in fact, it'll take us to this room where there's a bunch of baby Gomas. Yeah, these are all baby Gomas. The best way I could really just say you can attack these things is hold your target, your ZL target, and use your claw shot to take care of all these guys. Because these guys die in one hit, so you could use your spinner as well to kind of clear them out, but it's really not as effective as what I'm doing right here. This is kind of the cleanup. This is how you clean up everything. Now, upon killing all the baby Gomas here, that opens up that gate right there, so we can go back out here if we need to. We also need to take this thing. We need to take this Armo statue here, and we need to go back up because there's actually a room where it requires 2 weights on the switches. Yeah, it's in here. Alright, so we need to go up and watch out for the barrels. One thing. Just watch out for the spiky barrels. And we're going to put this Armo statue that we just got on the switch. And as you guys can see, there's another Armo statue right there. So let's go ahead and grab it and bring it back over this way. Put it on the switch. Make sure you get on it real quick, too, because it's got a delayed reaction of going up. So as soon as you put down the last Armo statue, immediately run to this platform. And inside this room, it's going to be locked. So we got to take care of some things in this room first before we can even leave. There's some Armo statues. Armos Knight statues. We'll go ahead and take them out. There we go. You can actually get a quick hit on them real quick. You just go up there and just insta-kill them before that while they're waking up too. That's kind of funny. But as soon as we kill, I think, all the Armos, this chest spawns. And the door opens, so we can actually leave. But I think there's something else in this room too that we need to go and grab before we leave. Inside's a small key. We're going to use that key to open up the door that we couldn't open up before. And I think, if I remember correctly, there's another thing that spawns right there that we need to do. We need to pick up this Armos thing, I think. No. That's later. I'm thinking later. We're going to come back to this room later. But inside this chest right here is a Meaver stamp. Our first Meaver stamp of this dungeon. This is Hylian letter L. Well, the reason why I like this dungeon so much is because first half of the dungeon, you are going all the way up to the top of the dungeon to get this statue that we need to get. And then the later half of the dungeon, you're going all the way back down. So essentially, you're taking your return trip back all the way down in order to get this statue back to the place where it needs to go. I always like the concept of this dungeon. Alright, so let's go ahead and use this key and we can go in here. Now in here, this is kind of an introduction to a switch. Like the crystal switch. If you hit this crystal switch, it causes some doors to open up in the room. Now you can hit this switch with any weapon, like a bow, a sword, you know, your claw shot. I think you can hit with a claw shot. I'm having a hard time hitting that BMOS. But there's actually something in this room too that we need to do. So we're gonna come over here and we're gonna go ahead and shoot this switch here with a bow. Once we do that, it opens up this door right here. Let me go ahead and kill this BMOS real quick. I thought I could hit him. Oopsie. Come on, you BMOS. There you go. Alright. So, as soon as you do that, when you have it like this, you know, the door is blocked right here, but there's a chest right here. So be sure to grab this. I went through the whole dungeon in my practice playthrough, and then grabbed this chest. I don't know why I didn't grab it. But inside's the compass. The compass is kind of important. It tells us where all the treasure chests are in the dungeon. So, yeah, as you guys can see, there's a couple rooms that we're going to have to come back to. That one room that we explored with the Armos Knights, where we had to fight them to open up the door and get the small key in. We're going to have to come back to that room because there's something else we can do in there with the treasure chest. But if we continue going up this way, there's another Lizalfos to greet us. He's dead. Lizalfos are pretty easy to take care of. I think this is another Lizalfos, and he's got a helmet. So you can use a helm splitter to really take him out. Now, I don't think we have introduction to a new enemy. There's a new variant of Lizalfos we'll see later. I think he's coming out pretty soon. But in this room, we're going to have to hit the switch with the bow right here to open up, you know, these doors right here. This is kind of a maze that we're going to have to take care of. And yeah, there he is. I knew we were gonna find him here. This is a Dynafulse. This is a more powered up version of the Lizalfos. They got, you know, he's got a shield and everything, so you're gonna have to use a lot of your hidden, hidden sword techniques to take care of him. He gets up pretty fast too, and uses his tail to attack you. So use the shield bash and use helm splitter and stuff like that. And if he's shielding, he's gonna to do the back slice. He's going to block you. He follows you pretty well with the back slice. So what you need to do is when he's about ready to attack, you need a shield attack, and then use helm splitter to take him out. Dynafulse are kind of annoying to fight. They're not as bad as like any other enemies later, but Dynafulse are kind of mean. Alright. So as soon as we come through here, we gotta continue going this way. There's another Dynafulse. Come on, buddy. Helm splitter. I think you can also use the jump strike too. Oh no, it blocks that too. Never mind. Yeah, the helm splitter is really his weakness here. He uses that shield. He's pretty good at using the shield to block. He's kind of got he's got, you know, that 100 skill and block. Skyrim. There we go. Okay, Dynafulse is taking care of. Alright. Now I gotta go ahead and shoot. Oh, let me back up a little bit. There we go. And then shoot the crystal again. Go. And that opens the way. I forget which. I think it was Alphonse from Fire Emblem Heroes says, "I'll open the way." I think he's voiced by Ray Chase, the same guy who does Roy's voice actor. More Armagomas, not like Arachnogomas or whatever they call. But as you guys can see, there's a bunch of freaking babies. You know, it's like those old Power Thirst commercials. You know, you drink the Power Thirst if you have 400 babies. You'll have so much energy, you'll be able to make 400 babies. You'll run so fast that it'll take you back to Kenya. I'll think you're Kenyan. That's kind of racist. I'm sorry, but it is an old Power Thirst commercial. Or not Power Thirst video on YouTube that had that. I think that was, gosh, that was like, what, 2010 YouTube? That was a long time ago. But as soon as you kill all the enemies here, a treasure chest spawns. And you got 50 rupees inside. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Now, in this room is kind of weird. We've got to use the scales of justice to make our progress here. So essentially what they're wanting you to do, as soon as you step onto it, you know, the scale's gonna be like, okay, well, you're too heavy. So what they're wanting you to do is take these Armo statues and throw this up here. It kind of evens out the weight a little bit. And you can progress through that way. Now, here, you can actually cheese this a little bit. You can actually get a certain item early doing it this way. I've done it before. I want to see if I can do it again. If you come over here, use the claw shot, and get this Armo statue down here. You know, jump all the way down here. There's also one on a column here. I think if you bonk into it, does it knock it off? No. I'm thinking of Wind Waker. Wind Waker has that mechanic. No, you're gonna have to use another item for that. I forgot. What? This isn't Wind Waker. Has that mechanic where if you bonk into something on a column, it'll fall off the item that's on there. But if you actually take, I think I can do this because I could have swore I've done this before. Yeah. I'm sure if I can. Yeah, I can. I think I'm going to do this early. That's fine. If we do it early, it's kind of funny because essentially what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to do this way later. You're supposed to do this way later. But I'm gonna go ahead. Ah, dang! I screwed up. Went the other way. But as you guys can see, I adjusted the scales and I had too many on one side, and it lifted me up like this. I had 3 of those Armos things on one end. It's lifting me up and it's keeping me up there with my weight. You can use the claw shot to get up here early and get this item early. They expect, the game developers kind of expect you to do this later when you come back down, but I'm kind of crafty and I'm thinking that this early. I'm not that crafty, I'm just sequence breaking, but that's okay. But as soon as you come in here, you'll notice there's a Poe right there. Let's go ahead and take care of this Poe. Come back here. Alright. There we go. We got our next post soul. That's our first post soul of the Temple of Time dungeon. Okay. So, as I said before, this is completely sequence breaking a little bit because they kind of expect you to get this later. But you can do it now if you want to. And inside this chest is our second Highland letter Meaver stamp. It's T. So, like I said, you could do this earlier, a lot earlier than expected, because you can go in this room and do this puzzle in this room. And I'm gonna give you guys a hint. This item is what we need to progress in the dungeon later, but you have to do this way later. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it. As you guys can see, you can tell. Look by the chest there. That's the boss key. Yeah, you're gonna go ahead and get the boss key before you even get the dungeon item. It's kind of funny when you really think about it. I'm not really doing anything that crafty. It's not really gonna sequence break. It's gonna not save me any time because I still have to come all the way back down and do what they intended me to do. It's just I don't have to do this when I have to go back. Because like I said before, they kind of expect you to do this later when you're coming back down on your second trip. Oh, there we go. Alright, as you guys can see, inside this room here, there's 4 switches. And we have to use 2 of these Armos statues here. But the thing is, though, well, there's 4 switches. There's only 2 Armos statues. So you're probably wondering, well, where are the other 2 we have to use? Well, the other 2 are actually these Helmosaurus shells. Yeah, these Helmosaurus shells are acting as the weights because they're big weighted items. Now, where did the other one go? I know it was around here somewhere. I think it's around here. Let me jump down here. Yeah, it was like right next to the door. Okay, let's just set it down here. But yeah, I'm kind of sequence breaking a little bit. I always thought it was funny that you could sequence break this part. Because you don't have to wait until later to do this puzzle. You could do it now. And I just think it's funny. Especially, like, you know, usually dungeon layouts, they're like, okay, you get your dungeon map first, you get your compass next, then you get, you know, the dungeon item, then you get the big key, then you can go to the boss. But I kind of did it out of order. We got the big key before we even got the dungeon item. So we're all ready to go to the boss. We don't have to come back to this room on our second trip down, so that's good. Alright, let's go on and continue on through this place here. Okay, let me go ahead and kill out this Beamos. There. Watch out for the barrels. Well, I don't think there's anything treasure-wise right here. Ow. Go ahead and kill this Lizalfos here. I actually never played this game on hero mode. I probably should sometime later on my life. I actually haven't played any of it. I think the only like hard mode version of Zelda I've ever played is, I'm still working on it right now. I'm doing Master Quest mode on or not Master Quest, but Master mode on Breath of the Wild right now. Inside this treasure chest is a small key, so be sure to avoid all the obstacles. I mean, you don't want to get hit by that giant axe. It does a lot of damage. It doesn't do that much damage, but you guys can tell it does a lot of damage. Ow! No! Just gotta wait. Okay, come on. Need you, not you, Pot. I need the Armo statue. Hurry, 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 hurry. Ah! There we go. There we go. Alright. As soon as we do that, the electric barrier goes down. And then we can go further on up. And there's more babies. 400 babies. Just gonna go ahead and just mop them all up. Like I said, you could use the spinner if you really want to kind of just take them out. It's really not that, but the thing is though, it's just, I find a more effective way of killing them is with a claw shot. The claw shot kind of just takes them all out one by one. Oh look, a secret treasure chest with Armo statues right there. Inside's a purple rupee. Like I said, I'm kind of glad now that I got the rupee bag upgrade last episode. Because now I can start getting rupees again. Ow. There we go. Killed one. Yeah. Get the other one. There we go. Block, 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 block. As soon as we do that, it opens up that gate there. Now, if I remember correctly, I think if you the weighted switch, I need to remember what it does. Let me set that down. Oh, that just raises that. Okay, that's for later. What we need to do is we need to go in here with that small key.